Hello yoga friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and this is the 31-day yoga challenge where we do 20 minutes of yoga a day for 31 days. Today is day 14 and it's all about release. Today's practice will be a yin practice, so we'll be holding our postures a little longer. It won't be a flowing practice and it'll just be a little bit more introspective today. I want you to have a bolster or thick pillow or even a couch cushion at your disposal today. We're going to place that just at the back of our mat here. We're going to use it right at the top of our practice. And as always, there is a playlist linked down below if you care to listen to some tunes while you practice. And without further ado, let's get started here in our supported fish. So bringing our prop just down towards the back of the mat. We're going to sit up here, bring your bum to that prop, and then next exhale, just lay over that prop. Bringing the arms out by the sides or maybe resting on the torso. Really allowing yourself to set up these yin postures because we will be holding them at least a minute or two, and sometimes even 3 to 5. And let's go ahead and flutter the eyes closed or take a soft gaze. Finding an even breath in and out through the nostrils, deep into the belly. We'll begin our practice by setting an intention. Anything that comes to mind is wonderful. And if nothing comes to mind, you can always use this one. I release what is no longer serving me. I release what is no longer serving me. And whatever intention you chose for yourself today, begin to inhale that beautiful energy from that intention in through the nose, deep into the belly. And open the mouth. Sigh. Exhale out anything extra. Let's take that one more time. Inhaling through the nose, deep into the belly. And open the mouth. Sigh. Exhale out anything extra. Coming back to that even breath. And knowing you can return to your intention throughout practice and perhaps throughout the rest of your day today. We'll remain here in our supported fish. Breathing evenly, allowing any thoughts that come into our mind just to float on by. Knowing that if anything becomes uncomfortable today in our practice, just adjust your posture, come a little bit out of it. Make your practice work for you. We do want to go to the edge of sensation, so we do want to feel a little bit of sensation here in this yin practice, but we don't want anything pinching or being too uncomfortable. So allow yourself to calmly set up the postures and feel free to adjust as needed. And we'll stay here for about 2 more rounds of breath. And then very gently rolling off to one side and removing that bolster, just placing it over to the side for later in practice. Let's come down back onto our backs, inhaling both knees into the chest. Maybe finding a little rocking motion here from side to side or taking some hip circles just for a few rounds of breath. before we move into our next yin posture. And then coming to stillness here with the knees into the chest. And release those arms out into a T. Let's exhale the legs over to the right for a supine twist, making sure that left shoulder remains in contact with the earth, an option to gaze over the left fingertips. And we'll settle in here for about a minute or so. And taking 2 more rounds of breath here. And on your next inhale, inhale legs through center, and then exhale both legs over to the left for a supine twist on the opposite side, making sure that right shoulder remains in contact with the earth. An option to gaze over those right fingertips. And taking 2 more rounds of breath here. And on your next inhale, bring those legs back up to center, and exhale, straighten both legs down as we extend the arms overhead for a nice good morning stretch. Just staying here for a few rounds of breath. And then bringing the arms back down by the sides, let's inhale that right leg into the chest. An option to keep your left leg straight, or maybe you want to bend it here. We're going to move into half happy baby by grabbing the outer edge of the foot, or maybe placing the peace fingers around that big toe, and then moving into happy baby, aiming to get that right knee towards that armpit here. Really opening that hip, but making sure we're not forcing anything with that hand. And we're just going to stay here for about a minute here, making sure that left hip stays on the earth. Two more rounds of breath here. And then gently release that right knee back into the chest And then exhale, straighten that right leg to meet the left. As we inhale, the left knee into the chest and move into that happy baby option to keep that right leg straight or bent. And settling in here. Maintaining that even breath, maybe returning to the intention you set at the beginning of class. And we'll stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. And then on your next exhale, gently lowering that left foot to the ground, or maybe straightening that left leg out. And then we're going to find our way onto one side, just to press our way up, finding a tabletop. Making sure knees are directly under hips, wrists directly under shoulders. Finding some organic movement here. Transitioning before we go into our next posture. Maybe you find some cat-cows by inhaling, dropping the belly, looking up to the sky. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding the spine. Or maybe you take some hip circles. Anything the body is calling for here. And the next inhale, let's come back to a neutral tabletop. We're going to set up for sleeping swan. So bringing our left leg forward, aiming to get that left shin parallel with the top of the mat. It's okay if it's not perfectly parallel there. And then sending that right leg back so we're off of the knee. Option, if this is too much or if it feels uncomfortable here when you're sitting up, you can slide your bolster just underneath that left hip if you need that support. We'll sit up in swan here, flexing through that left foot to protect the knee. And then exhale, lower, maybe onto the forearms. Maybe you use your bolster to lower on, or maybe you just allow your forehead to come on to the earth. For sleeping swan. Scanning the body here for any tension to exhale. Sometimes there can be tension in our face or forehead. We're about halfway through this sleeping swan. And then on your next few inhales, gently coming back up to your palms here. Let's very slowly move back into your tabletop once more. And then we'll switch sides, bringing our right leg forward, flexing through that right foot, sitting up into that sleeping swan. Maybe this side feels a little bit different and you need to add the bolster. We are not perfectly symmetrical, and that is just fine. So sitting up here in our swan, and then next exhale, maybe lowering down onto your bolster or forearms or your forehead. Coming to the edge of sensation. And coming back to the even breath. We're about halfway through this sleeping swan. And then on your next few rounds of breath, gently coming back up onto the palms, and then finding our way back into that tabletop. Being very gentle here. And then finding our way all the way down onto our backs for our final resting posture, Shavasana. Feel free to take a traditional Shavasana, or maybe you place your bolster underneath your legs for a little extra lower back release here. Adjusting any clothing or hair that might be distracting. Allowing the arms to come out by the sides. Scanning the body for any tension we can exhale. And allow ourselves to stop being a human doing and just be a human being. I will let you know when it's time to come out of your Shavasana. But for now, simply rest. And you are welcome to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you'd like. But if you'd like to close out class with me, begin to bring awareness back to your breath, introducing some movement in the body, maybe by wiggling the fingers and toes, rolling through the wrists and ankles, maybe finding some windshield wipers from side to side, finding any organic movement to wake the body back up. And then gently rolling onto one side, finding a fetal position, using the bottom arm as a pillow. And on your next inhale, gently pressing your way up into Sukhasana, easy pose. Maybe keeping your eyes closed or in a soft gaze, bringing hands to heart center. I want to thank you for coming to practice with me and sharing your energy. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. We'll close our practice with the sound of Om, inhaling through the nose deep into the belly. Om. And bringing thumbs to third eye. May the light and love in me recognize and honor the light and love in you. Namaste.